Hello, beautiful people, and welcome. In today's video, we are talking about our Chapter 2, Practice 1 exam. In this video, I am going to go through only the Chapter 2 questions that we have learned so far. Let's go and get started. On the first section, we are solving one-step equations. These are equations that are only going to take one step for us to solve, and that step is adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing. Step number 1, we're going to do a dotted line where we see our equals. Step number 2, we're going to circle our m. This is our variable. Take your finger, go ahead and cover that letter. And what you're going to see is a number attached to that variable. We are going to undo that by, if we see a minus, we're going to write a plus. So I'm going to write plus 5 on both sides. And again, on one side, we are trying to remove items. So we are going to remove this negative 5. Bring down your m. On this side, we're going to use counters. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4 minuses. 1, 2, 3 plus 1 more. 4, just kidding, 5 pluses. We have our 0 pairs. And we're left with a positive 1. So in this question, m is equal to a positive 1 as our answer. Looking at our next question, notice that it is a little bit different. Now, step number 1 is going to be the same dotted line, but this time when I circle my letter, my x, I have x attached to a line. This is a division line. So we are not adding, subtracting. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up that negative 2, and I'm going to draw a dot and a line on both sides. When we pick up that negative 2, I'm going to remove it by writing it on top on both sides. Now again, this is now multiplication. So on one side, let me get a different color. On one side, our task is to remove that negative 2, bringing down our x. On the other side, we have same or different, which is going to be same, which means we have a positive answer. 2 times 7 is 14, so we have positive 14 is equal to x on this side. Remember to keep your equations balanced, so if you have something like a number on the left-hand side, keep it here. If you have x on the right-hand side, keep it here. Don't switch. Now again, here's step number 1. We're going to circle that equals, dotted line. And here we're going to separate our letter and our number in order for us to circle h. Now when we do that, we're going to open up and put in a multiplication symbol. And here, when we circle h, we need to remove negative 5. Now this is not adding and subtracting. This is undoing multiplication. So we are going to divide both sides. Now on one side, our task is to remove this negative 5. So because I am removing negative 5, I'm dividing by negative 5 on both sides, which then gives me a removal of that negative 5. So this is removed. Bring down that h. Here, we're going to divide. Now, if we take a look at our multiplication table, we do not have a number where 5 and 100 get along. So for division, when we take a look at our multiplication table, I'm going to take a look at 5, and I'm going to go all the way until what we have, and looks like I'm just shy of 100. So instead of that, I'm going to ask myself same or different. Let's move my paper here. These are different. I see a negative and a positive, so it's going to be negative. And then I'm going to use my fingers. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 100. So 85, 90, 95, 100, sorry. So, and then that means we have 20. If it's not on your multiplication table during the exam, please ask me and I can see if maybe you made a mistake or maybe it's just not on your multiplication table. Moving on to question number 2. Now, this is a 2-step equation, which means we are going to take 2 steps in solving. So 2 operations, adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing. So out of those 4, we're going to choose 2. Step number 1, dotted line. Now, in a 2-step equation, when you circle your term with the variable, you're going to be taking its symbol, you're going to be taking the letter and the number. I'm going to cover this up. Notice I have this 2 right here. Let me move this forward. This 2, where my marker is showing, is a positive 2, so I'm going to be subtracting 2 on both sides. Remove it. Bring this down. I have 18 minus 2. is 16. Now this section right here, this is going to be your counters. So you're going to be adding, subtracting here. Here we removed the 2. Bring down the negative 2 times n. And now we're going to be dividing, that's our second step, dividing our second operation by negative 2. Again, our task is to remove that negative 2, leaving n to be open, to be by itself, and then 16 divided by negative 2 is negative 8. So again, same or different. This is different. One's positive, one negative. You're going to take a look at that multiplication table. Here's 2, and I'm going to find 16. 16 is here. Drag your finger over, and that is where we have that number 8. Okay, same. Circle, dotted line. Circle the term with your variable. So our variable is x, so we're circling x over negative 4. Take your finger, cover that bubble. We see a positive 2, so I'm going to be subtracting 2 on both sides. Our task here is to remove the 2's, but to add, subtract, this is subtracting with counters 4 minus 2, which is a positive 2. Bring down our x over negative 4. Now when I circle that x here in this step, notice that x is now attached to this line. This is a division line, and this division line tells us that we need to undo it by writing a dot and a line on both sides. This is going to be multiplication, and that line helps us to show that in order to remove this negative 4, I need to write it on top. Now, if it is negative in the bottom, you keep it negative. And again, our task here, this negative 4, is to remove. We're going to bring down that x. And here, same or different, we have different. 2 times 4 is 8. So we have x is equal to negative 8. Moving on to the next question, circle your equals, dotted line. Circle the term with the variable, so here it is. Take your finger, cover that bubble. I see a minus 4, so I am going to be adding 4 to both sides. Again, our task is to remove that 4. Bring down the v over 10, v divided by 10. Here we have counters. So we have 5 minuses, 4 pluses. This is a negative 1. And again, when we circle that letter V, notice it's touching this line. That means to undo that division that we see, we're going to be writing a times with a line on both sides. Our task right now is to remove this 10, so I'm going to be writing 10 on both sides, making this 10 gone, bringing down the x. Sorry, this is a V. And here, same or different. Different means it's a negative answer. 10 times 1 is 10. So our answer here is negative 10 is equal to V. Moving down, here it says to distribute. Now, distribute is not solving. You do not have an equals. Instead, we are just using multiplication. Circle that negative 2, bring it onto P. So negative 2 times open, P, close it. Then we have an English and. This is just a continuation like the word and usually is. Then we're going to take this negative 2 again and we're going to multiply it times a positive what? Now we are not adding or subtracting. This is all multiplication. So we are going to ask ourselves same or different. So negative, positive. This is different, making it negative. 2 times P is just 2P. Same or different, different, which means negative. 2 times 1 is 2. Let's try again. Here we have 5. Let's take this 5, put it on my inside 5. So 5 times open 5, close it. And 5 times negative 4a. So 5 times open negative 4a, close it. We are again multiplying. 5 times 5, positive, positive, gives me a positive 25. Positive 5, negative 4, which is opposites, which is different. Plus and minus are different. Minus 5 times 4 is 20. Yes, I have a letter. I have to write that letter here. So if you see a letter like A, X, W, V, P, you got to keep the letter. So here we have Positive 25 minus 20a. Remove that plus in the beginning. It's unnecessary. It looks icky. Okay, we want to keep it pretty. Let's try this one more time for distributive property. Take that -3, put it on that -5. -3 times open, -5. V, close it. And our next one here, we have -3, +2. So -3 times open, +2, close it. Again, same or different? Same. So this is a positive. 3 times 5 is 15. Do I see a letter? Yes. So we're going to bring that V down. Negative times a positive is a negative. 3 times 2 is 6. So we get 15V minus 6 here for our distributive property. Okay, moving on. Question number 4 is also for distributive property. However, it is also with combining like terms. So distributive property is chapter 2. Combining like terms is chapter 1. Let's start with the chapter 2 distributive property. We're going to take that 2, we're going to bring it onto x. So we get 2 times open x, close it. And 2 times -4. So 2 times open, -4, close it. Now we do have this +5 that I'm going to be just writing at the end, which is not part of the distributive property. This is part of chapter 1, which we are going to combine like terms later. So here I have 2 times x, which is 2x. Positive, negative means a negative. 2 times 4 is 8. I still have this +5 here at the end. At this step, we need to combine like terms, meaning if it has the same letter, like x, we combine them. If it also doesn't share anything the same, then we also combine them. So 8 does not have a letter and 5 does not have a letter, so we get to combine those. So we get our answer of 2x, 8 minuses and 5 pluses. This is not multiplication anymore. This is adding, subtracting. And we get -3. Okay, moving on again. Be careful on this one with the distributive property. You are taking that 2, but you're taking the minus with it. So this is a -2 times 3. So what we have on this one, we do have this 5 here, but then we have our distributive property of -2 times open 3x, close it. And we have our -2 times this +4. -2 times open, +4. Be careful where you need to multiply and where you're going to be combining like terms. So here, we're going to be multiplying. We get negative, positive. -2 times 3 is 6. Bring down the x. And I have negative, positive. -2 times 4, which is 8. Bring down that 5. And again, we need to combine like terms here. So 5 is without x. -8 is without x. So we need to combine those together, and giving us an answer of -6x minus 3. One more time. We're picking up that -6, putting it onto 2h. -6 times open 2h, close. And -6 times open, +4, close. Now here we do have this positive 3h that we need to keep track of. Let's go ahead and multiply. We got negative, positive, meaning it's a negative. 6 times 2 is 12. Yes, I have a letter. That letter is h. Negative, positive gives me a negative. 6 times 4 is 24. Bring down that positive 3h. Again, we need to combine like terms. Notice that I have -12h's and +3h's that need to be combined. And the reason we are combining them is because both terms have the letter h, meaning they are like terms. So we get 12 and 3, -12 and +3. We're counting. So 12, 11, 10, 9, we get -9h's minus 24. Next up, we have solving multi-step equations. There are 2 styles of multi-step equations, technically 3 styles. The first style is combining like terms. Step number 1, we're going to circle that equal sign, draw a dotted line. I'm going to extend it out a little bit further than usual. than typical. Now I'm going to take a look at what needs to be combined. I am combining terms that share the same thing. So what I mean by that is I have an x and I have an x, therefore these are like terms. So what I have here is 1, -4, this is counters. So I have -4 and -3, meaning I have -7 x's. So if they share a letter, when you're using your counters, that letter stays. Then we have 15. Just bring that one down. Now we're back to a two-step equation where I am going to circle my term with my variable. I'm going to take my finger, I'm going to cover that up. I see this 1, this is a positive 1, so I am going to be subtracting 1 on both sides. Again, we are removing and subtracting. This is counters. So 15 minus 1 is 14 positive. Bring down our -7 times x. We are removing that -7 by dividing by -7, both sides. Remember, our task here is to remove. However, our task on the other side is to divide. Take your x, bring it down. We got x equals, same or different. We do have positive, negative, which gives our answer negative. 14 divided by 7 is 2. Let's try this again. Circle your equals, bring down a dotted line. Combine like terms. See what they share or what they don't share. I do have x's again that are next to each other. This does not always happen. Just be careful here. I'm going to say 2, again, counters here. And then we have -2 and -3, which is a -5x. Bring down the 12. Again, this is now a two-step equation, so we're going to circle this -5, take my finger, cover it. I see a positive 2, so I'm going to be subtracting 2 on both sides. On one side, our task is to remove. Here is counters. So 12 take away 2 is 10 positive. You can do a plus positive if you'd like. Bring down this -5 times x, and again, our task here is to divide. We are removing this -5 by dividing by -5. So on one side we are removing, on the other side we are dividing. Bring down your x, and we have x equals, same or different? Different. One's a plus, one's a minus. 10 divided by 5 is 2. One more combining like terms here. Circle your equals, dotted line. Look at what we need to combine. Notice that we actually don't have x's. I have just this term of x, but I do have a -2 without x's, and I have a -3 without x's. So this example shows you that sometimes you're going to need to combine like terms where there are terms without any letters. So here we have -3x, and this is counters again. So -2 and -3 is a -5. Bring down the 7. Two-step equation, circle the term with your variable. I see a -5. I'm going to add 5 to both sides. Here we are removing. On the other side, I am using counters. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I get 12 on this side. Bring down the -3 times x. We are going to be dividing by this -3. Okay, bring down the x. And we have same or different, different. One's a plus, one's a minus. So we get -4 on this answer. Alrighty, moving on. We are going to question number 6. And on question number 6, we are starting to combine things like adding, subtracting, and distributive property. Let's go ahead and start by doing our circling our equals, dotted line. Next, we are going to be using the distributive property. So for the distributive property, take the 4, bring it onto 2, and we got 4 times open 2x, close it. And take the other 4 times a positive 6. Now the 72 that we have, we're just going to bring it down. Multiply, positive, positive, we get 8. Do we have a letter? Yes, we have x. And here we got positive, positive, which gives us a positive. 4 times 6 is 24. Bring down the 72. After you distribute, then you're going to circle the term with your variable, cover it up. I get 24. I'm going to subtract 24, subtract 24. Here on this side, these are counters. You can always use counters. You can also use your fingers. Bring down the 8 times x. And here if we take 72 minus 24, that gives us 48. And then again, we're going to take a look at this 8. We have x that we want. It is attached to 8, so we need to remove 8 by dividing 8 on both sides. On one side, our task is to remove. On the other side, our task is to divide. So we are going to be removing 8 on the left-hand side. Let me see if I can find a different color. Here it is, remove. And on this side, we have 48 divided by 8, which are both positives, which gives us a positive 6. So bring down your x. Let me find my black marker. Again, this side we're dividing. Positive, positive gives me a positive. And then our answer is 6. Okay, moving on. Again, we are distributing using that distributive property. Oops, I forgot to do our, here's equals, here's our dotted line. So we got negative 5 times open 3r and negative 5 times 4 positive. This negative 80 here, we are going to just break down. Same or different? Different. So we get negative 5 times 3 is 15. Do we have a letter? Yes, that letter is R. Same or different? Different, which means negative. 5 times 4 is 20. Bring down the negative 80. We're going to continue. Here's our term with the variable. Cover it up. I'm going to add 20 to both sides. Our task is to remove on one side, bringing down that negative 15 times r. However, here we are using counters. Negative 20 and 20, negative 80 plus 20 gives me a negative 60. Our task is going to be to remove this negative 15. We are removing this negative 15. On one side, we are removing. On the other side, we are dividing. So remove this negative 15, bringing our R. And here we have same or different. This is same. So that means our answer is going to be positive. And we have 60 divided by 15. If we take a look at our multiplication table, that will give us 4, a positive 4. Let's do this one more time. Circle your equals, dotted line. Pick up that negative 4. You're going to go on to 1. Negative 4 times open 1, close it. And negative 4 times a positive 3n. Bring down that 44 onto the other side here. Just bring it down, copy, paste. Let's go ahead and multiply this. We got negative positive, which is negative. 4 times 1 is 4. Negative positive negative. 4 times 3 is 12. Do I have a letter? Yes, that letter is N. Bring down the 44. That doesn't change on the other side. We now have a two-step equation where we are going to circle the term with the variable, making sure to pick up that negative with 12. Covering that with our finger, we have a negative 4 here. I'm going to be adding 4 to both sides. So here's my finger. I'm going to add 4 to both sides, add 4 to both sides. Remove on one side, counters on the other. So we get 48 here, bringing down our negative 12 times n. Our task now is to remove that negative 12 on one side and divide negative 12 on the other side. On this side, let's go ahead and remove that negative 12, bringing down n. And then on the other side, we're asking ourselves, same or different? This is different, so we're going to have a negative. And then 12 and 48, if we take a look at our multiplication table, 12 and 48 will give us a 4. A negative 4 to be exact, with our different signs. All right, moving on. Now in question number 7, it is asking us to distribute, combine like terms, and then solve. So a lot of things are happening here. Let's go ahead and start with our circling of the equals dotted line. I'm going to extend that dotted line a little bit further. And now here, you have to be careful because a lot of things are happening. We have this 1. We're going to bring down this 1. That doesn't change. However, I do have this positive 3 that's going to go on to another 3. So positive 3 times open 3x, close it. And I'm going to actually zoom in here so you guys can see a little bit better, hopefully. There you go. And then we have our other multiplication, which we're going to take that positive 3 and go on to this negative 3. So positive 3 times open negative 3, close it. This negative 35 on the other side stays as a negative 35. Bring it down, negative 35. Here, again, don't worry about that 1 in the beginning. It's just there for right now. We have to deal with our distributive property first. 3 times 3 is 9 with an x. Positive negative gives us a negative. 3 times 3 is 9. Now, this is not a two-step equation. We're still in the multi-step because I have a negative 9 and a positive 1 here that we need to combine. This is combining like terms, which end up giving us 9x, negative 9, 1 positive is a negative 8. Bring down that negative 35. Now, in this location, we are at our two-step equation. So we are going to circle 9x, positive if you want. Cover your finger. I'm going to add 8 to both sides. So we get 9 times x, extend our dotted line. And here, if you wish to use counters, you can. You can also use your fingers. Negative 35 plus 8 is going to be a negative 27. But again, this is your counters. This is adding, subtracting, not multiplying. We're trying to remove that 9, so I'm going to go ahead and divide by 9. On one of the sides, our goal is to remove. On the other side, our goal is to divide. So we have removed 9 because they match. That gives us a 1. And here we have x is equal to opposite, so different, same sign gives us positive answers. Different signs gives us negative answers. These are different. So negative 27 and 9, if we look at our multiplication table, 9 goes into 27 3 times. Let me shift that up so you guys can see. And this whiteout's just me whiting out the dotted line. It was a little bit on the longer side. Okay, moving on. Let's try this again. Circle the equals, dotted line. Then we're going to distribute. So I have this negative 2 touching the parentheses. That's going to go onto this negative 4. So negative 2 times open negative 4n, close it. And negative 2 times open positive 1, close it. And I'm almost out of space, but let's see. I got to make it work because it's there. I'm going to bring this negative 4n down. On the other side, I get 50, so I'm just going to bring that 50 down. Again, our task here is to multiply, so I get negative gives me a positive. 2 times 4 is 8. Do I have a letter? Yes, that letter is N. Negative times a positive is a negative. 2 times 1 is 2, and I'm going to need to bring down that negative 4N. Still have 50 on the other side. This is still a multi-step equation. We got to combine like terms. In this case, our like terms are this positive 8 and this negative 4. Because they both share N, we need to put them together. Now, this is using counters. We're going to add them together or subtract. Up to you. It's the same thing here. Adding a negative or just doing 8 minus 4. So we have adding 8 and negative 4 gives me a positive 4N. Bring down that minus 2. And on the other side, again, we still have that 50. Now we have our two-step equation. Let's go ahead and circle that 4N, cover it up. I'm going to add 2 to both sides. When I do that, I get 52 on this side, dotted line here. Bring that down. We remove the negative 2, and we have positive 4. You can do positive. You can remove that positive. It's up to you. And an N. We're going to now remove 4 by dividing by a positive 4 on both sides. Again, one side is to remove, the other side is to divide. And if we take a look at our multiplication table, now 52 and 4 gives us 13. We have to ask ourselves, are these same symbols or different symbols? And these here are both positive, so we're going to do a positive 13. Okay, let's go ahead and move on. Next one here, circle your equals, dotted line. And again, take your negative 3, multiply it by this inside, so negative 3 times open, 3x, close it, and trying to write small here, negative 3 times open, positive 4, close it, and we still have this plus 3 that we need to bring down. Negative 45 stays on the other side, negative 45, and we are multiplying. Negative positive gives me a negative. 3 times 3 is 9. Yes, I have a letter. That letter is X. Negative positive gives me a negative. 3 times 4 is 12. And we still have this positive 3 here in the back. Bring down that negative 45. That does not change. Here we have to combine like terms. Now, our like terms here are touching. None of them here, negative 12 and 3, they both don't have X. Now, I do have this negative 9X still here, but we do need to combine like terms. And this is counters. This is adding. So negative 12 plus 3 gives me a negative 9. We're going to bring down that 45 again, and now we are at a two-step equation. Two-step equation, circle the term with the variable, cover it up. I'm going to add 9 to both sides here. Again, this section right here is going to be counters. This is going to be your addition subtraction. Use your fingers if you need to do your calculations. Bring down the negative 9 times x, and we got negative 45 plus 9. Again, you can use your fingers. You can do your counters here, and we get a negative 36. Our task here is to remove that negative 9, so I am going to do that by dividing by negative 9 on both sides. On one side, our task is to divide. On the other side, it is to remove. Taking that x, bringing it down, we get x is equal to. Now, we got to ask ourselves, are these same or different signs? These are both negative, giving my answer a positive. 36 divided by 9, so 9 and 4 make 36. So positive 4 is equal to x. I bring this back up so you guys can see a little bit more of the work. Okay. After this, after solving multi-step equations with distributive property, combining like terms, all of this, we go into our last section of chapter 2. And our last section of chapter 2 is going to be function notation. Now, for function notation, there are names of the functions that we need to know. These always change. These are not always the same name. So if you see f, that means we're going to be using this function right here. If you see a different name, like for example, k or g or h, we need to use that different functions. So h here. We had, here's another f. Again, notice what I'm highlighting. Then we have, well, let's see what other colors I can come up with. Then we have g. G is my function here. I have another g. And lastly, I have k. And here's k. After that, so when we take a look at the name of the function, that's the function that I'm going to copy down. So let's start with f. F function is 2 open x plus 4 close it plus 5. I am going to open for my x value. So I'm going to copy this down again. 2 open, but instead of writing x, I'm going to add a little line here. Everything else stays the same, and I'm going to put in this negative 4 into my x location. So this is inside of my function, so I'm going to put the negative 4 inside. Now this is order of operations. This is PEMDAS. So we are going to say 2 open, calculate the inside of the parentheses. This is counters. 4 minus 4 is 0, close it, plus 5. This is now again order of operations. We are going to multiply this. 2 times 0 is 0. Bring down your plus 5, which gives us 5. This is not our answer. We have to write our answer in function notation. So we have f of negative 4 is equal to 5 is our answer. Let's do that again. Now we have a different function. That function is h. So 3 open x minus 1 close it plus 4 is our function. Inside of our function, we have the number 2. So when we open up 3 open x minus 1 close it plus 4, I'm going to be taking that number 2 and I'm going to be putting it inside of our function, inside of x. Order of operations here, we're going to be inside of the parentheses first. So 2 minus 1 is 1. We still got our 3. We still got our plus 4. Then we got to multiply. So 3 times 1 is 3. Bring down the plus 4. And finally, we get 4, 5, 6, 7. With our function notation, we get f. Just kidding. That's not the name of our function. The name of our function is h. Different color, different everything. H of 2 is equal to 7. Okay, moving on. Next function we have again is our f function. So we're going to copy our f. So 2 open x plus 4, close it, plus 5. Notice where we have 1. 1 is going to be on the inside of our function. So since we have the inside, we're going to open up for x, keep the plus 4, close it, keep the plus 5. Inside of our function, so inside of x, we're going to put 1. So we no longer have x. X is 1. Then I'm going to go ahead and do 2 times open. 4 plus 1 is 5 plus 5. Multiplication, it goes next. 5 times 2 is 10 plus 5. We get 15. Again, let's use function notation, which is going to be f of 1 is equal to 15. I'm going to skip these next 3 questions. Please do that on your own. I will be checking during class time. For question number 8, we are going to be doing a little bit different because notice that we have an outside of our function 17. Same thing as before, we do have names of functions. So k, here's k, here's f, here's the name of our function f, and here's g. So we're still, step number 1, going to copy down the correct function. So here's k, negative 3x plus 2. But because we are now dealing with outside, we're going to take this equals and 17 and write it on the outside of our function. This is now solving an equation. So I am going to do a dotted line where I have my equals, circle my negative 3x, subtract 2, and keep going just like I did previously in the packet. Bring down my negative 3 times x, subtract 17, this is counters. So we get 15, divide by -3, remove, divide by -3, divide. X is then equal to -5. I want to stress the difference between having something inside of the function, meaning this is how our answer looks like. Outside, we are solving for X. Let's go again with a different function. Our function here is now f. Copy down f, 2, open x, plus 4, close it, plus 5. Notice where we have the 19. 19 is outside. So we're going to say equals 19 and put it on the outside of our function. This means we have an equation to solve. We want for x, dotted line. Now this is a multi-step equation where you need to distribute 2, so 2 times open x, close it, and 2 times open positive 4, close it. We still have that plus 5 here. Next we have our actual multiplication, 2x plus 8. We still have that plus 5, so don't lose it. And on the other side, we kind of just have 19 copied down here and 19 copied down here. We do need to combine like terms. This is a multi-step equation where we now have 2x, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I have plus 13. Bring down the 19. Dotted line. Here is now at this moment, we now have a two-step equation where we circle our term with the variable and subtract 13 here on both sides. This is counters, or you can use your fingers. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. We get 6 positive here. Bring down the 2 times x. Our goal here is to divide by 2 to remove it. And here, our goal is to divide. And here, we bring down our x. Same or different, same. So our answer is going to be positive, and we have 6 divided by 2 is 3. Let's do one more. There is going to be the next following 3 questions that I am not going to do for you. You are going to be in charge of that on your own. Our g function is 5x minus 1. Notice we have 49 on the outside. So we're going to place 49 equals on the outside. This is a two-step equation, so a little bit easier than the one in the middle here. Go in a circle, add 1 to both sides, giving us a dotted line. 49 plus 1 is 50. Bring down the 5 times x. Divide by 5, divide by 5. Remove, divide, bring down. X is equal to 10. Positive 10 because it's both positives. All right, so right now you have to get these done here, which are 7, G, K, and G on this one. And for question number 8, I do want you to complete K, G, and H here on the very last page. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye.